People, deluded, I'm back again. Manchester City won, Arsenal 0. Our second test against a top 6 side this season away from home has again ended with the same outcome of defeat. Now, it's a weird game depending on how you look at it. You know, inevitably, you know, there's probably going to be a lot of ranting and raving from people you know, from a lot of YouTubers. And hey, I respect everybody's opinion. You know, everybody sees the game differently. There are no rights and wrongs. Me personally, I think it's a double-edged sword because I still think there is an air of what if, what could have been, what we could have done. But I don't think we was terrible. You know, I do think what we did well is that, you know, for 20 minutes we was solid defensively. I felt we pressed well. I think consistently one thing I liked is how we played out from the back. That being said, first and foremost, I think Arteta lost the tactical battle because you quickly saw it. It looked like City initially, they were right up our, like, it sounds a bit suspect, but they were right up our asses essentially. Forgive me for my language, you know, pressing high. It seemed like, and that's like I just said, I praised us how we played out from the back, people, and how we got out of there and showed a willingness. Gabriel in particular, it's like City clocked that from early. Pep said, you know what, let them play. Let them play. You know, when they come into these areas, we'll engage. Let them play. You saw him change it very quickly as well. You saw Cancelo, you know, become a sort of inverted midfielder, centre mid sort of thing. You saw Ake go out there and become a sort of left back. You saw Rodri come and become a centre half. Kyle Walker kind of had the freedom to do whatever the hell he wanted. Bernardo Silva was picking up the ball and right off the centre halves more or less. And you saw Raheem Sterling trying to play like Kevin De Bruyne. Him and Sergio, I've never seen them so deep. And, you know, I think Arteta lost the tactical battle first and foremost, you know. This is what I mean by, I like Arteta. Football's got a short memory, and to be fair, you can't rest on your past laurels. What he's did in the FA Cup, Community Shield's irrelevant, you know. People are questioning his tactics of today, and for those that, you know, are looking at it with a balanced mindset and questioning his tactics today, I'm not speaking to you lot, innit. It's the immediate reactions you're hearing tactical, it's Mikel Emre, it's this, that, and the other, you know. You weren't saying that when, you know, the players threw it away at the Emirates when we done alright against Chelsea, or when we beat United, or the numerous games in the FA Cup. You weren't saying that then, you know. You weren't even saying that on Monday. Ironic, well, a couple Mondays ago against Liverpool, where I actually think that was the game to say Arteta was a defeative mindset. In relation to how Arteta went out there, you know, I felt a couple of the changes were a bit dodgy, you know, a couple of things, you know, I felt. And this is the thing, you know, I'm not saying Arteta's an idiot, but this is how football goes. When you're a genius, when you try things, it doesn't work out. People look at you like you've got, you know, that you should be in a mental home, and you look like a bit of a nutter, you know. And Arteta's got to face the music. The one big thing for me is Willian. You know, I understood why Willian starts in defensively and keeping trust in your players, but I just think Willian's been a bit iffy. So fans like me that are looking at it with a balanced head, Arteta has to accept that scrutiny, in my opinion. You know. The whole experience, I didn't mind the players that were playing because it screamed we're being attacking, you know. Sometimes he's gone with Maitland-Niles at left wing back. He went with a sort of Saka thing initially, and it looked decent. You know, what I liked about Arteta, he changed it very quickly. You saw us go into more of a back four and Saka kind of do the left wing / going in midfield thing. But it weren't good enough, and Arteta is still learning. I always say this to you, look, Arteta is still learning on the road. He's not going to get it perfect. He needs to face the music. But let's keep a balanced argument, you know. Immediately, the players, not that I'm happy and I accept failure and I accept losing, but we got battered there 3-0 a couple of months ago, literally, through, and we gave them goals. Today, we did all right. We let ourselves down for the goal, of course, you know. Xhaka and Ceballos, you know, it's too easy for Guerrero to pick up the ball where he picked it up. Tierney, maybe he could have been a bit tighter to Mahrez. You know, it's a good playing out from the back from City. It's a great move. You know, Gabriel and David Luiz, they're both gravitating towards the ball. Tierney and Saka could have tucked in a bit more. Absolutely not. You know, it's too easy for Foden to get the shot. I'd implore you all to watch that game again and focus purely on Raheem Sterling, you know. Raheem Sterling, the ball falls to Raheem Sterling. He has time to have an extra touch. Sergio could have scored on his return. And why is that? You know, people will comment on Leno's save, and I know many times Leno has saved a shot and punched it into dodgy areas, which I don't think that was. But nobody was close to Sterling because nobody clocked it. And I told you, look, Arteta has to face the music like the same way we praised him, but the players as well today. You know, I said before the game, I want to see shots, and, you know, I want to see shots and some bravery. This is a defence who, you know, any team will miss Kevin De Bruyne, but City have fantastic depth. But either way, there's no Kevin. This team can't buy a clean sheet. You know, they can't buy a clean sheet. They're struggling for it. There's question marks over them. I know The international break is a welcome break, but there's question marks. And I feel to allow them to go into half-time without actually asking questions, if you did actually watch the Leeds or Leicester games, which I hope the players did, you're not really doing that. Ask questions. Well, in fact, to be fair, Leeds at half-time, looked a different team in the second half. I think we were better in the second half, but there weren't that greater urgency to want to go and change the game. And I feel we can speak about Arteta's tactics, and ultimately that's it. He didn't start Lacazette. He's got 3 goals in 3 games or so. You gave him 8 minutes or so against Sheffield or in the cup. You barely played him before it. He weren't called up by France. So unless he's carrying a knock, I don't understand it. Personally, Arteta has to face the music, but I feel the players as well. Players have got to stand to. Collectively, they've got to say, as a collective, we're not letting our manager down. We're going out there. And it's about players, individual accountability. Say to yourself, I'm going to have a good game. I'm not letting my teammate down, whether you're a left back, centre mid or whatever. I want to make the difference. The only one that showed me these things that I want to see shots, trying to have an effort, accountability in your performance is Saka. Saka should be the young player who gets gassed off when he's seeing the other more experienced man do that. Do you get it, people? Saka's the only one I saw with that. I think Gabriel had a very good game. I think Tierney put in credibility. I think Louise was somewhat decent as well. I don't think anyone was atrocious. I think William was, to be fair with you. You know me, I don't praise that, but my opinion is William. And like I was saying, was personal accountability, Go and repay your manager, William, because William's no idiot. He knows he ain't been playing well. He sees social media. Go out and prove to your manager why he should start and not Pepe. Go out and put 2 middle fingers up at Arteta and say, yo, you should be playing me. Arteta could turn around now and say, yo, this is why you don't play. Aubameyang has to take some responsibility, or Newcastle beating United. Aubameyang has to take some responsibility for his poor performance because he weren't there. I don't think he wanted it with Walker. Keddy have demanded more of the ball and done more. But at the same time, I don't think he had more. He took more accountability. I don't think Xhaka and Ceballos did either. I don't think Bellerin did. I think Bellerin actually struggled out there. One thing I don't advocate is scapegoating. We was poor today. We faced the music. There's 33 more games to go. And games like this is what I like because there's no hiding place. You immediately see your level when you play Liverpool and City and teams like this, and it shows you when you're not playing well, sometimes you get the rub of the green, Apart from Fulham, I'm not saying we've been poor in every game, I think we was okay today, poor in several incidences and poor for the goal, but we was okay today. I think against Liverpool, we was a bit defeative and I didn't like it, but we weren't terrible, We've only been amazing against Fulham, and if we look at it without emotion, you should be able to do that against Fulham. With all due respect, they're probably candidates to go back down. But the inevitable, it's all Pepe's fault, it's all Williams' fault, it's all Arteta's fault. Aubameyang has not looked the same since he signed the deal, Bellerin this, Leno this, that, and you know what, this is the life we live, this is the industry we're in. There's still 33 more games. I'm not saying that to say I know something you lot don't, or to be positive for no positives, because I don't think we're getting top 4. I think if we can have more of a fight for it if we fix up, but we need to start having shots, having more of an effort, playing better than what we're doing many things a different way, because no matter what way we look at it, this is our second test this season against a top 6 side away from home, and it doesn't matter what we have to say about the micro. All that matters is the start and the finish and the result. When we look back in, mate, all that is going to matter is there a green tick for a victory, is there an X for a 0, are we in top 4, and we've bottled it. We can't feel sorry for ourselves because the games are coming thick and fast. We've got the Europa League and there's going to be rotation. We've got a tough Leicester game on Sunday, Leicester and Jamie, you see what Jamie Vardy's on this season. We have to forgive ourselves, we try and catch City and Liverpool now on the rebound and try and, beat them at the Emirates and whatnot. Liverpool, we beat them last season at the Emirates, so we have to try that, but it is what it is. We've got Leicester, then we've got United, we've got Wolves to come soon, we've got Spurs in December, I believe. The games are coming thick and fast. There's no time to feel sorry for ourselves. There's 33 games left, We weren't perfect against Sheffield. We got away with it in the second half after fixing up. We got away with it, and I think, did Nketiah get us out of jail against West Ham? Did he score? I could be wrong. And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Of course, I don't understand how Walker weren't sent off and all of these things, but that's harping at straws, people. That's clutching at straws, better yet. We lost, we have to hold our hands up and we have to go again, We go again. We've got 2 defeats on the board. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. We go again. And I'd say the players, you know, you've got to just realise how fine margins are at. There's no point, you can be good for 80 minutes, you switch off and it's curtains. And I would say, I'd have to ask every player, do you feel collectively as a team, did we do enough? Where the answer is obviously no. Individually, do you think you've done all you can? You know, even Bukayo Saka, I think he was head and shoulders above everyone. But I think there was incidences he could have done a lot better. But he's the only player, him and Gabriel, you know, at a push, Tierney as well, that I feel could say that. And that's not to say, you know, we're a team. We're only as good as our worst player. I think William was the worst on the field. We're only as good as that. We don't win, lose or draw as a divisive group. So we do this thing together. That's why scapegoating and all these things, it's not helping nothing. Let's look at it without emotion, or just look at it without being silly. We hold our L. We weren't poor today, but we weren't good enough to win. You know, City weren't out of second gear. Why is that? Why did they have to not get out of second gear to beat us? What can we improve? Arteta, hold your hands up. You got it wrong. What can you do to pattern? Players, bad games happen. You know, Aubameyang's got 5 games without scoring now. You go and bag the winner against Leicester or United to come. No one gives a crap. You know, Aubameyang will get his goals. Admittedly, the longer he's not scoring, and I'm sitting here and saying that, you know, it does look a bit more booky. But let's move forward. It is what it is. There are some positives, people. You know, we didn't lose. Not that I'm saying we should look at it like this, because these are mediocre standards, but we lost 3-0 a couple of weeks ago, months ago, better yet, and we only lost 1-0. You know, for me, the most disappointing thing is we didn't make City really work for those 3 points. We didn't test their keeper enough. We didn't really put any real uncertainty in that back 5, considering how poor they have been individually and collectively. You know, that's about it really. And obviously tactically, based on what I thought the lineup would be to what, you know, I saw people doing, it weren't the same. And I just feel individually players didn't rise to the occasion. You know, tactics, all of these things are relevant, but players have got to take it upon themselves to want to make the difference. And I only saw that with 3 men at a push. Really only Bukayo Saka, 'cause 2 of them and they are defenders really. But that's what I feel. That's my opinion. On that note, I'm not going to bore you lot with it any longer, so let me get out of it. It's always a pleasure. Deluded.